It's always it's kind of funny that I switch back to English. For the record, I am Belgian. I don't sound very Belgian, but a few words about me. So, my name is Baldwin Burgess, and I have a small company called BD Insider. It stands for Business Development Insider. What I mostly do with my life these days is I help businesses and professionals revolutionize their business development processes. And this has a lot to do with adopting new technologies, understanding new technologies, and understanding what lies ahead in the immediate future and how we can leverage these forces to make more human connections. That kind of ties it into what I want to speak about today. Today I want to speak about a topic that I've been working on for some time now, and I called it B2H, business to human. And yes, it's sort of an alternative acronym for B2C and B2B. And it's really all about how technology can help us build stronger relationships, stronger human relationships than ever before. Let me take you on a little spin here. One thing that we always do, ever since the dawn of civilization, is we fear technology. We are nervous about it. We have a strange relationship with it, although we are the creators of this. We fear, what we're fearing today is that technology is creating a distance between us, something that we're not very comfortable with. The thing is, technology is human. It is a human creation. It is something that we have put together. The thing about humans is that we're tool builders. It lies in our nature. The question is, why do we build tools? Why do most other life forms not build tools? And I say most because if you look at the bees or the ants, they're sort of in the kind of civilizations that build things, but we build real tools. And the reason is, why do we innovate? Why do we want to build better tools all the time? Well, the thing is, we're driven as humans by the insatiable and unstoppable desire to connect with each other. Not always, okay? We're also very creative with technology for dark purposes and all sorts of purposes, but most of the time, we create things to connect with each other. Why do we travel? Why do we want to roam around? Why do we travel? Because we want to connect with other humans. We justify it because we want to trade with them, but if we're trading with people and we have a subsistence, why do we want to connect with more people? Why do we want to travel further? Why do we want to travel faster? Why do we want to travel far away? We want to go to these places. Why is that? Why are we exploring space? Why are we going there? We're trying to find new connections. It's in our nature. We will do anything to connect with each other. It's that obsession that drives most of our technological innovations. We own it. We are finding ways to connect with each other indirectly. Maybe it started with sounds, drum beats, or smoke signals. Some people eventually figured out a way that if I could put something in stone literally, and someone else can then get my message, and I don't even have to be there. That was a technological breakthrough when we figured out that, if I draw an animal on a cave wall and I put a story together with that, I can get my message across to others. I can connect with others. We wanted to connect more efficiently. We wanted to do it in real time, all the time. And we want to connect with everybody at the same time. This is where we're going. We want to see each other now. We want it to be visual. We even want to use technology to sleep with each other. This is where we're taking all this. So it becomes irresistible. Technology becomes irresistible when it lets us connect with each other. Why does this matter? Why am I talking about this? Well, we have this amazing creation now. We have this amazing gift. This was the way that, I apologize. This was the way that we used to connect with our customers and our clients. This was the only avenue available for us to reach out. It's those carvings on a stone wall. This is a modern day version of not that long ago. And that's why I think we have to start thinking about moving beyond B2B and B2C, because B2B and B2C are channels that we put together that work quite well within the limitations. But why should we think beyond that sort of almost personal but still distant connection? Is because today we are all connected to each other. We are entirely entangled. We have a direct connection. We don't think about this enough, I think. It's kind of amazing how you can find people who like exactly the same things as you do in Thailand and in Vancouver. Right now, we don't even really realize how far we've come. So I want to welcome you to the business to human era. This is where business has become very personal, more than ever before, because of that direct connection. We don't have to use these indirect channels anymore. We can connect directly. We have these networks for that. I want to take you through 4 megatrends. These are the things that I work on most of the time. These are the trends that I think are happening right now and are going to change the way our world works, and it's very important for how we see the future of our business. It starts with virtual reality. I'll take you to global connectivity. We'll go to big data, and then to artificial intelligence. These things are happening today, and they're very important. Let's start with virtual reality. Virtual reality is happening right now, and it's going to change the way we see the world, and I mean that literally, right? How we experience the world. Some very uncomfortable questions come up with virtual reality. Some of them actually seems almost scandalous. Will we still need offices in 2025? 2025 is 9 years away. The question is, will we still need that many offices? What does it mean for real estate investing? What does it mean for how you're going to organize yourself around the world? Will we still need our devices? Because virtual reality means that you virtualize things. Does that also mean that we virtualize our computer, our keyboard, our phone? Will everything become just virtual, dematerialized? These are really interesting questions to ask. Will we still travel for business when we can have this seamless virtual experience with people? We can be somewhere without being there. In fact, we can be in several places at the same time. Bill Clinton has a foundation. He uses this already today to find money for his projects in Africa. We're not going to click this link right now, but the best way to find this is on Facebook. You will go with him and his daughter to his projects in Africa before you give him money. You will actually have an immersive experience of what it's like to be there. Now, you may want to watch this on your 2-dimensional screen, but it's also available for a 3D virtual experience. You can put the goggles on, you can go there. You can be with them, see what they're doing with your money. Think about this. What if you can start showing people what's exactly happening with their money? Where's it going to lead us? Interesting questions, huh? The thing about VR is we kind of get tangled up into technology. But about the bandwidth and the goggles and all those kind of things, it really doesn't matter because the technology is going to take care of itself. But it's about the standards and expectations it sets. I want to spend some time here. Not too long, but these are the impacts of virtual reality on our world and our world of business. It's going to be, let's do it like the clock. Let's start at 1. Experiences. It's going to change the way people want to experience things. There's going to be a human migration, where people are going to have a choice between having an edited world, which they prefer, to the real world. There's going to be a migration. There's not much doubt about it, especially when the experience becomes seamless. We're going to be able to edit realities. People are going to be able to edit their own realities. It's going to affect education. The best way to learn something is to immerse yourself in it. Virtual reality we have to think of our business as teachers as well. If we want to have people responsibly invest, it kind of makes sense for us to educate them. This is a very cool avenue to think about that. It's going to make productivity and flow much. It's going to increase that. It's going to make, it's going to dematerialize a lot of things. We're going to be working in a space where things just appear on demand. Solutions, tools. It's going to allow us to gamify things. It's going to be instant, on demand. Everything is going to appear now. I want to go to India now. Boom, you're in India. That's maybe something for 2030. I want to go to Uruguay. I've always wanted to go to Uruguay. You can go now. Boom, go. Without all the hassles of travel. What is your virtual reality strategy? How are you going to find a place in someone's virtual world? That is an important question to ask. Let's go to the second theme, is global connectivity. We've just migrated about, this number is rising fast, about 3.6 billion people into a new space which is called the internet in less than 2 decades. That's crazy, think about this. 3.6 billion people, one migration, less than 20 years. That's unheard of. That's actually amazing. We'd like to think that the internet is something American and European. Think again. It's actually, the internet is about Asia. It is about, actually Africa is rising very fast. That used to be nothing. The internet is not about the West, the internet is about the world, and the world is about Asia. The world is about all these places that we don't really think enough about, I think. Another 3 to 4 billion people are going to join us online in the next 5 years. You'll see some of these penetration rates in some markets are very low. In India, Middle East, Africa, even Latin America still has a lot of people to invite to the internet. That's going to be, what is that going to be then? It's going to be 6 to 7 billion people seamlessly connected. That means we're going to have billions of new voices and minds. People who don't think like us. People, but they're far more Asians than anything else in the world. And within Asia, there's different cultures. But we're going to have these billions of new voices and minds online with us. It's going to be really interesting. The blockchain is the next generation of the internet. I don't know if you've heard of the blockchain. The blockchain is basically, I think it's the internet version 3.0. And you know, it's because it's focused on secure integration and secure transactions. Not only between people, but trillions of devices. It's a more functional version of the internet. We'll speak about this data-related thing a little bit later. The funny thing about our industry is that we are focused on this part of the world population. We're chasing these guys, and we're not really spending enough time thinking about these people. This is the future, my friends. And the thing is, whether they're, I know there's regulations, I know that. I know it gets complicated there, right? But just the thought that these people are now, remember, we're connected, there's no barriers, there's virtual reality coming. Asia, India, Latin America, these places. We're obsessed with these people, and we're trying to keep these people to focus on finance. Right? Work to be done. This is your next customer. She doesn't know a world without a screen that she can touch. And when she's a young adult, it's going to be a virtual world that she lives in. Is she going to be interested in what we do? These guys, we wonder why can't they just put their phone down for a second, right? Well, for them, that is just a way to connect with each other. They don't really see, you see this with your kids, right? They don't really have that clear boundary between what's a virtual connection, what's a real connection. And all these like friendships and these fights and these heartbroken stories about things that happen on Facebook. I mean, this is real, right? This generation thinks it's totally normal to make virtual human connections. What does this really mean? Well, it's a culture cocktail. It's about, what does that mean? And how can you make your message travel through cultures? Are you missing out on opportunities because of the culture is not right? It's about total transparency. It's going to be, we're going to be forced into it. This is what blockchain is, by the way. It is anonymous in a way, but it's still, everything is visible, even though it's anonymous. There's really no place to hide. It's about disintermediation. It's about direct access, and it's about systematic trust. We're going to strive to a system that's going to work. No borders, billions of new voices and minds. Very challenging environment. Big data. The Internet of Things. Trillions of devices connected to the Internet, telling us in real time what's going on about anything, and this is only growing. It's the end of guessing. Our generation, at least my generation, I'm almost 50, we struggle with this sometimes. We're still trained to assume things. You know, I think, I believe, my experience tells me that. Well, you know what, the information is out there. The end of guessing is near. We're going to be able to find out whatever we need to know on demand instantly. Eric Schmidt runs Alphabet. You know, Alphabet is the old part of Google, the big chunk, right? And last year he said that the internet is going to disappear, and he's right. It's not going to shut down. The internet is going to be everywhere. It's going to be, right now I can say, I just came back from a holiday. I was pretty much offline. I can log in and out. But that's not going to be like that in the future. The internet's going to be on all the time because it's going to be in your devices. It's your car, the building you want, the streets, the street lights, the cameras everywhere. The internet's going to be there. What he means with this is that the internet will become invisible. It's always going to be there. So intelligence, we have to think, what does intelligence really mean? We have to redefine it. It's not about what you know, but it's how you can access information and how you can learn and adapt. This is what intelligence is in the fast-moving world. It gives you a competitive advantage. You will, not embracing these kind of dynamics will, I mean, you guys focus a lot on execution. You know, that's a crazy world right now, right? It's milliseconds. It's like best execution. What is that? Well, that's something that we couldn't even believe that we'd be talking about 20 years ago, because it's all so connected, right? Well, it's the same, and it's eventually going to be the same everywhere. It's, you know, competitive advantage is about being able to get that information and do something with it before others do. So we're going to have a lot of paralysis by analysis. There's going to be a lot of data, and you know, the smart universe. All data becomes usable and smart. It's going to affect the way we develop our business. It's going to, you know, affect the way research is done. Research is just going to be delivered to us on a platter. It's about marketing. It's about product development. All those kind of things. See, big data is a big game changer. But now comes my favorite theme. How do we make sense of all the data? There's so much out there. Welcome to artificial intelligence, my friends. This I find by far of the 4 topics the most fascinating one. The reason is, and we're kind of dramatic about this, because we had Space Odyssey 2001 with HAL going rogue on his crew, and we have Terminator, and we have this film here, which is, what's the film called again? It's the Deus Ex Machina, where these artificial intelligences become evil. They have an own agenda. They think about themselves. In fact, you know what we did with that? We just attributed human characteristics to technology. The thing is, technology is not human. They're not humans. We have the worst traffic in the world. We fight each other all over the history of mankind. You know, why should we project these values onto technology? Why should technology have such an agenda? Artificial intelligence is not human. That's the one thing that I think we need to get grips on. The thing is, artificial intelligence is learning how to learn. And you may have read this in the news. It's beating Go players, a very complex game. It won at Jeopardy many years ago. Artificial intelligence is acquiring the same kind of learning abilities as we are gradually. And we think that, yeah, artificial intelligence it's funny when you do these surveys, I ask people like, so do you think artificial intelligence will affect the future of the workplace? I say yes. And your job? No. Well, you know, we all thought, yeah, that's for like trucks and construction and things like that. It actually turns out that, I can't really get into this in detail, but it turns out that knowledge work is far easier to automate than mechanic work. You may be surprised by this, but as soon as you can hire somebody, train them in a matter of weeks to do something, believe me, you can train an intelligence to do that, which is not human. So the thing is, our AI is already stealing technical and knowledge jobs, but there's one thing that artificial intelligence does not do very well, and that is make human connections. And the reason is because it doesn't have that nuance that we have as humans. So let's say I come home late at night, and I had a horrible day at the office, let's say, whatever. And I come home and my wife stands there like, had a good time, huh? Well, if I were a robot and the artificial intelligence is like, I had no good time. Why is she saying that I had a good time? Because I can't get the irony of the remark. That's what makes us human. It's that nuance, right? Because we think like, yeah, to be human is, no, languages are going to be taking care of artificial intelligence. You know, McKinsey even thinks artificial intelligence is a big deal. I kind of pay attention when McKinsey starts talking about things because they do have a lot of research power. So the point is that, I mean, artificial intelligence is going to turn the world upside down, because what you can have is like you can have the brains, an artificial brain which is fast, scalable. A small company can run circles around a large company if used right, because just purely by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence and knowledge. And so it's going to have a big impact on recruitment. It's going to have a big impact on the skill set and talent market. It's going to have a big impact on training and education. Don't be surprised that, you know, all that little girl and all these guys with their mobiles are going to get corporate training on through an artificial intelligence. Is very patient and very methodological in detecting their learning patterns and adapting to it. marketing, product development, artificial intelligence is going to run most of what we do. But it's not about the tech. It never is really. The thing is, you're all already using all these technologies I just spoke about. Your telephone, let's quickly go through this, right? So your telephone connects you to the internet, and it gives you real connections. It takes you to virtual reality, because even though you're not like putting it on your face, what it does is that it does let you create a sort of a version of yourself in an avatar of yourself. So why is Facebook so interested in virtual reality? Because it's the first step for you to create a persona. Who does not work with Facebook here? Okay. Good for you guys. Because once you're in there, you start like creating a persona for yourself. And that's what most people are doing. It's the intermediate step towards this. So your phone also has all the big data. It pulls together a lot of data that you need. And it actually has artificial intelligence because it helps you make sense of some things. So you're using all this technology already. You may not even realize it. In your workspace, this is now shifted in the next gear, because Microsoft bought LinkedIn, and this is a very, very big deal. You probably all use Microsoft Office, and you probably have LinkedIn accounts. And so this is all about a suite that is going to work with virtual reality, because they're both very interested in making everything virtual meetings, virtual connections. But they're going to help you easily connect with each other. There's going to be data. There's going to be an artificial intelligence going to help you make sense out of the data. So the point is, you don't have to worry about this because it's being served to you anyway. You have this already, and they're just going to slowly, gradually teach you how to use it. So please do not misunderstand the final use of technology. A lot of people in our industry, in finance, and I say ours because I somehow belong to your industry. I used to be in capital markets and an asset manager myself. What I'm seeing right now is they'd like to put these robots in front of their customers. They think customers want that, especially the millennials. People still love to deal with people. So don't make the mistake of confusing the purpose of technology by replacing humans. Technology does not replace humans, it enhances us, as it always has done. So those who can make real human connections with the technology in the virtual world are going to win. And so it also means we need some new skills. And I just plotted these skill sets on a chart. It's a little bit rudimentary. But everything that's not in that box is really going to go to the artificial brain. Really. You may be surprised to see finance and research there. But I'm afraid an emotionless machine without a bias is probably going to be very good at doing finance and research. But that's not a problem. We were looking at this tool, Neon. Neon is basically, when I was in asset management, it took us dozens of people to put that together for our clients, right? And now you have this at a push of a button. So guess what? Does that mean we're going to kick out those dozens of people? No, we're going to just, maybe they could be better used to actually deal with clients, speak to clients. You don't even have to talk about those things anymore. You can talk about what really matters to clients. So the training challenges are going to be in the colorful box there. So it even starts with marketing, but especially the obvious things like customer service and community management. It's about creating amazing experiences, creating amazing customer experiences. It doesn't always have to be virtual. It could be virtual. But there's a lot of space now because so much is being taken care of by technology. We can actually think about how we can create these experiences. Because knowledge and all this, when we look at Neon, you guys have been in this industry for some time, and I sort of stepped out and I stepped back in, and I said, I wish I had that 15 years ago. Really, because the thing about it, like the knowledge and the technology is going to happen anyway. It's going to take care of itself. If you know how to harness it, you can make more meaning out of those relationships with your customers. You can focus on things, real human things that really matter. For example, when I was speaking to investors, I spent most of my time trying to make sense out of our investment ideas, right? I never had time enough, or maybe the bandwidth, to understand what the perspective was of my investor. I mean, what this guy or girl feels comfortable with. See what I mean? There's a lot more space for that right now. The focus will be on social skills. I think we're all in the teaching business somehow, because there's an opportunity to use technology to deliver insights and education. You can train your customers or your clients to understand better about certain opportunities they care about. It's very interesting. I call this is the best way I can picture this, because if you start with a relationship and share some knowledge, you start building trust. And before you know that, it all starts compounding on each other, and you take a customer from the prospect into the client zone. Now, if you know how to use technology, you can do this en masse. You can almost automate a part of that, just the delivery of the value. You can monitor who's really paying attention. You know who to talk to more. You know who to spend time on. You become more efficient. That's the core of what I do with businesses. I use technology to figure out who they really should be spending time with. So this is not a technological race on who has the coolest technology. The race is really about who can make real human connections in a virtual world with the technology. And I think it's the biggest business and employment opportunity ever, because we're going to have these 7 billion people online connected to the same source, with the same information. Remember that 9% there? That's going to grow. If the formula for success is to have human connections, it's going to create a lot of jobs for people to deal with other people. I find that quite fascinating. I find that actually very positive. And you know what? We get trained to do what we know how to do best, is make human connections. Because in the end, we're a social animal. That's what we know how to do. If we can spend our time enhancing these skills with our tools, that would be fabulous. If this struck a chord with you, if this is something that you'd like to dive into deeper, I have a free book about this. I'm writing it as we speak, so it's kind of a live book. You can get it on my website, and when you go on the front page, you'll see it there. Thank you very much for your time and for your interest.
Notwithstanding the technology